Hey guys, I have a very special guest in front of my camera. This man is such a badass, he's legendary. I'm talking about the one and only Zack Hoffman. And if you don't know who he is, he's a very professional actor. And back in the 80s, he rose to the challenge to play a very, very manipulative villain from the franchise G.I. Joe. But before we go into the G.I. Joe stuff, we need to learn a little bit about Zack's history as why and how he became an actor and who influenced him to become an actor. So how did you get your start?
Wow, how did I get started? I started actually doing stand-up comedy and then started doing improvisational theater in Los Angeles. And I could always do impressions. And then once you got into the improv groups, you were doing impressions with the people who did impressions with the people who did impressions. So it was very fun. And we were doing impressions and characters. And when you get serious about this thing, you start going to classes, and I studied with Gary Austin and Kent Scove, and I took my serious acting was with a woman named Estelle Harmon at the Actors Workshop in Los Angeles, and just been just very fortunate, very, very fortunate.
So, how did you hear about the audition for the G.I. Joe franchise?
Well, actually, I was doing what they called improvision. We were looping in voices of an old bad horror movie, and I was sitting at a bar talking to Wally Burr, who I knew as a friend, and I was telling him that I was doing The Bride of the Monster, but we had turned it into a James Bond movie, and I was Bond, James Bond. And so he said, you got to try out for this. We're looking for a voice. And he told me what he was looking for and gave me a picture, and I came in, I think, the next day, and I auditioned, and I got it. And that's how I got Zartan.
So one of the things that have drove me crazy for so many years, like when you were voicing Zartan, was that your natural voice, or was it with your voice with the help of a synthesizer?
Well, it was my natural voice for a while, and then in production, post-production, they decided to use a synthesizer to make his voice, Zartan's voice. I'm not sure exactly why, but because he did everybody else's voice, they wanted to make that like sort of a superpower.
Nice, man. I really did enjoy your performance. One of my favorite episodes is when you pretended to be a dignitary and you planted a bomb inside their institution, and then you were caught by spirit. Oh my gosh.
Is that it?
I think so. You were caught and they put you in the prison, and they wanted you to tell them where the bomb was, and you're like, well, my bombs never failed to blow up, blah, 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 blah. Man, I really love that. So, like, when you were doing Zartan, who did you use as inspiration to create his voice?
Well, the inspiration came from the Anthony Burgess novel Clockwork Orange, because the main character had a crew. He was the leader of a crew, and they weren't the Dreadnoks, but they were, it was sort of him and the Dreadnoks. And then obviously I liked Sean Connery, that kind of accent. And then the other thing that I was thinking of was, what Shakespearean actor or what Shakespearean character would be befit of Zartan. And Zartan, I think, was a guy who was pretty full of himself, which reminded me of Falstaff in the Merry Wives of Windsor. So I sort of mixed that all together and came out with Zartan.
Okay. So I know you got to play Zartan for a long time. when the G.I. Joe live action movies, did they ask you guys to help consult on the movie to make the characters better for the production, or did they say, you know what, we're good?
No, they were good. They were, you know, they were doing their own origin story, which was great.
Did they at least offer to let you guys make a cameo appearance in any of the movies, or no?
No, they didn't.
It would have been really nice if you're there, you know, like in the background, as pretending to be like a military official. That would have made so much sense. But that's just how I feel on the G.I. Joe franchise. So, since G.I. Joe, what have you been up to these days? What are you working on right now?
Fortunately, I have retired, and so I've been, last 10 years I was doing a one-man show called Tuxedo Man. I do a little writing, write a little poetry. I have a website, it's called ZackHoffman.com. Come and visit, and that's basically what I'm doing.
I forgot to mention this, guys. If you don't know who Wally Burr is, he was the guy that directed all the voice actors for the G.I. Joe franchise, as well as the Transformers show. And the best way I can say is he was one tough bastard. He's not someone to fuck with. True?
Well, he was a war hero. So when people thank people for their service, Wally was a war hero during World War II, and amazing guy. And we're actors, so we're at the discretion of a director, you know, and it's always good when the director knows what he wants, and we can give it to him, and that's what happens.
Yes. Well, Zach, I just want to say thank you so much for spending time with me and my audience. Do you have any words of wisdom as Zartan for the public? Because we got to hear Zartan come out.
All right, my little dreadnoks, listen up. It's me, Zartan, ruler of the swamp. Now, I want you all to remember this. Every day is the best day of the rest of your life. So enjoy it. Have a good time.
All right, Zach, thank you so much for your time. Keep kicking ass, taking no prisoners, man. I hope to see you one day on the big screen again. I hope. All right, guys, that's a wrap from Zartan himself. That was his special message for you guys. And that's a wrap. I'm sorry, Cobra! Wow.